Alright, so it's kind of at night, so there's really not much point in doing the video, unless I shine the flashlight directly into my face. There's not going to be much seen anyways. It's going to be one of these voice casts, I guess, you know. So that's fine. Let's see here. So, oh boy, it's like 11 p.m. Oh shit, we got to get one of these out today, alright? We got to have the daily quote. It's been almost a month now. And it's kind of nice to have to do one of these days, one every day now. But anyways, to get into it, let's see here. I put it down on my hand. Oh, right. Yeah, let's just talk about, you know, what's going to happen next week. Some of, the little things, right? Because part of it is I want to do little things. You know, I want to do little things, and yeah, it's just a little bit of every week. You know, nothing has to be that serious, and that's fine. Again, it's doing these things every day is fine. It's an improvement. It's not some grand, big fucking thing, but that's fine. One step at a time. And so anyways, next week there's going to be a lot of interesting little things going on. I'll probably make some headway on the fire pit issue as well, depending on how wet it is and everything else. But there's definitely going to be a foundation guy is coming over tomorrow, a structural engineer. Isn't that wonderful? So I may have mentioned that, ironically, there's a lien in the house, like sloping floors, which, given that, you know, one of my pet peeves of the last house was how much time I wasted waiting for my landlord's handyman to show up with the sloping stuff I didn't even care about, you know. This is a slab foundation. The old one was one of those, I don't know what, pier ones? I don't know. The guy couldn't fix it, so it was just a big hassle for me to just, anyways. So it's kind of ironic that I move here and it's like, oh yeah, this house kind of has a lean to it. So, especially on the back, you know. I got it was at, I don't know, maybe this year, February, I don't know, it doesn't really matter. But I got I got 5 different foundation repair people out here. I was going to play them off of each other, you know. And 2 out of the 5 said, yeah, obviously we can measure some sloping here, but it's kind of cosmetic and there's not much you can do. Maybe they did it this way. They just kind of did it quick or whatever. Because they couldn't see too many stress things in the walls or what, I don't know. That's why I need an engineer to figure this out. There were 2 other companies that said, oh yeah, we'll do stuff and, you know, it'll cost $5,000. One of them was like, it'll be $10,000. I was like, oh, okay. So it's always disconcerting when, you know, experts say totally different things, you know, and there really is an agreement. And, you know, even with a structural engineer, it's like maybe he's terrible, right? So I don't know. Maybe he's like, oh, there's nothing wrong, and there is, or he's, oh, this is terrible, you got to fix this immediately or whatever, right? So yeah, whatever, but I'll do this. It'll be fun, you know. I'll have him out. I'll ask the same questions that I'll ask the questions that, you know, I kind of want to ask based on what the foundation repair people said. So that'll be fun. That's tomorrow, again at noon, so I kind of wake up late, so it's not going to be an issue. Tuesday is Property Tax Tuesday. You know, I finally got a schedule for property taxes. They increased property taxes by 30% this year. Every time somebody moves in, they take that as an opportunity to jack up the goddamn rates. So that's fun. Yeah, and I kind of looked at it because all the houses on my block, like you can look up the property taxes for everybody else, and mine's one of the highest ones, even though it's one of the older houses. They're all kind of the same. Mine seems to be one of the lesser updated ones, so it's like, what the fuck gives, right? So I don't know if I can get away with anything lower on it. It's not, you know, I'm hoping to save maybe a couple $100 a year on property taxes that way. But yeah, I don't know. It's just obnoxious, you know. They're like, oh, we're keeping taxes low and all this, and yeah, they kind of slice sometimes off the taxes, but then all they do is they just raise the value of the house, right? So it's like the most obvious con, right? So the politicians that are responsible for the tax rates can say we lower the taxes, and the appraisal's like, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, that's just higher. So okay, whatever. So anyways, that's a lot of fun. But overall, it's not like property taxes are that high out here. The property values are not that crazy, so thankfully it's pretty decent. So even if I don't get anything, because they have this online form where you kind of file your complaint, and then they kind of give a counteroffer back, but they didn't even give a counteroffer. I waited 5 months for the counteroffer. I sent them an email manually, and I'm like, okay, what gives with this thing? Like, why is it not coming? They did not respond to the email, but like immediately, like within a day, I got a counteroffer. So they're checking the email inbox, right? Right, and same thing with, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, I declined the offer, and then they didn't send me a scheduled date. Now again, the last day to submit was middle of May, and it's now October. So the second email was like, okay, so when am I getting a schedule for this? Again, no response, and within a day, I get a date, right? So that's Tuesday. That's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's what, 1 or 2 p.m. So again, that's not an issue. And then Thursday, not to be confused with the fire pit. There's a little fireplace in the house on the second story. It looks, see, I thought it was a gas burning thing because there's like a gas turny thing. Yeah, there's like a key for, I don't have the key. I don't know who has it. I'm sure you can buy one off Amazon. And somebody's coming over to check that out, but it's not actually a fireplace that's gas. There's a gas starter on it, but you can just throw in some logs and just start burning it right now, apparently. But I've decided, hey, let me just have them clean it out or whatever and tell me how to operate the gas safely. I don't want to figure these things out on my own, right? And that one was like $85. I'm like, well, that's pretty cheap. As long as you clean it out, make sure it's not going to blow up in my face. Fantastic. So that's really it. It's just these little things that's like, oh, let's just fucking do it, One of the advantages of moving out here and getting my own house is overall things are still cheaper than renting, obviously. You kind of own the property, so that's good. Oh, wow. Well, I guess one of the disadvantages of this voice thing is you don't see. The decorations for Halloween are always a lot more interesting than Christmas. I suspect people like Halloween a lot better. But I'm seeing that it looks like there seems to be some light thing that crosses the street above. Wow, this is a pretty big setup here, or get up here, or whatever. Yeah, like crosses the, it's this blue light thing that crosses the street. Like, 15, 20 feet up. Okay, that's interesting. So anyways, the whole point of it was it's cheaper than renting, and it's like even if I spend $500, $600, $1,000 a month on repairs or extra things, it's still so much cheaper than renting where I was. So it's not even the money that bothers me, but oh wow, holy shit. I'm gonna have to take a picture of this tomorrow. No, this is very intricate. This is very inter-neighbor cooperation here. Holy crap. Yeah, you got this kind of neon purple thing that goes across both yards. Oh, wow. That really, yeah, that's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, so it's not the money, it's just the hassle, because it's always, oh, what's the point of the fireplace? Who cares? And it's like, no, I got a fucking fireplace. Let me figure it out. It's just $85 to get some guy out here. It's probably another $5 to buy a key on Amazon, a replacement key, and no, it'll be fun, I hope. And we'll have a fireplace. We'll have a fire pit. There's just going to be fire everywhere. Okay. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, so that's it. It's just these little things, It's easy to go down that road of just hopelessness. What's the point about this and meh? But no, it's these little victories I think are absolutely important, because I do feel good about these things when they work, and when you put these things together, and it's not a distraction from the bigger issues I still haven't really talked about or have had the capacity to talk about them as much. I think it just kind of builds to that, right? I kind of gain a fluency about talking about this stuff out loud. I do little things, and that's I think what I'm just gonna be doing, you know. There's always these little, like today I cleaned, what do you call it? I did the usual kind of cleaning. I cleaned the bathroom, cleaned the kitchen. Those are the two things that get kind of the dirtiest that you want to clean. I might clean the office later today, a little patio, enclosed patio / office thing. The one with the most lean. So ironically, the place with the most sloping floors is where I am most of the time when I'm inside the house. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But anyways, that's fine. That's fine, you know. And let's see here. Yeah, that's it. So just little things. You know, the cookies, I still want to do the cookies, you know. Part of it is I did 2 batches and then I kind of gave up, you know. With the, what do you call it? That's not this week. I did buy some dried cranberries and some whatever other berries. So I just want to have all the ingredients and just have it so that it's prepped to where I don't have to cut, you know, a date into 20 little pieces every time I make a cookie. I just have all the things I can grab, throw it together, and just experiment with the proportions. So that'll be fun. I kind of want to call them Cuban Spite cookies because I looked up Alyssa's cookies, right? And Mark Cuban is like an investor in it. I think it might have been something on Shark Tank or something. And I don't like Mark Cuban very much because he's a communist, ironically enough. And it's like, I cannot understand how this guy is some left-wing fanatic, right? And then he's selling cookies for $6 per 8 small little rounds. And it's like, what is wrong with these people, right? So I just want to have Cuban Spite cookies. I'll give away the recipe, and everybody can make cookies for like, I don't know, 50 cents for the raw materials, and you slam it in your oven and you can make them. And it'll bankrupt Mark Cuban for sure. So that's a lot of fun. And yeah, that's really it. I think we got to end on that very petty, vengeful kind of note. So anyways, I think that's it, and let's have a fun week.